Alright, this really quick tutorial is a review, if you were there yesterday, on how to warp your text. If not, it's still a good idea just to kind of rewatch it so you know what to do. The first thing I'm going to show you is to draw a text box. And the one thing you want to make sure is that they are all caps. So I can select this, make this a little bit larger because I know I'm going to draw my shape pretty large, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. So that looks pretty good. And then the next thing I want to do is either you can draw a shape. A rectangle is not really going to do anything because this is already in a rectangle. But if I wanted to, say, put this into an ellipse, I'm going to change it a different color. You'll see why later. Or you can also use the pen tool, which most likely you are for your typography, and you have a particular shape. Now I would stay away from points, and I'm going to make one here just to show you why, as opposed to creating a curve. Alright, so with these two different shapes, I think my text looks pretty good. This one could be a little bit larger. I want it about the same height. Doesn't have to be exact. I'm going to do 72. We'll try that. Okay, so the first thing you want to make sure of is that this shape is on top of your text. If it isn't, and I'll show you a scenario where it may not be, make sure that this is selected. Go to Object, Arrange, and you want to bring it to the front. Just like that. Alright, once we have it laid out that way, it doesn't have to be sitting right on top of it. This could be way over here for all I care. Grab both of them. You can either hold Shift and click each part, or you can drag your mouse and select them both. Now we're going to go to Object, Distort, and we're going to make it with the top object. Pretty cool. Alright, so let's try this one and see what we get. So I'm curious how that point is going to turn out. So this wasn't too bad, especially with the letter A. You can still read it. There may be letters where it's not as readable, but in the grand scheme of things, when you're making this typography project, not everything's going to be readable. So if this works for a particular shape, like an eye or, you know, a cape or some kind of design on your character, it looks pretty cool, and it kind of contrasts all the small text and other curves and directions that you have going on. So remember to choose 3 different types of fonts. Definitely try to use these if you can incorporate them into your project. Then also be sure to use various sizes of text. So in saying that, I could have one this size and one a little bit smaller. I don't know where this guy went to. He's really tiny. And then say another one, about 30. But you can see that that adds a little bit more interest rather than just keeping it all the same font, all the same size. So try to think about that variation as you do your project. So that's it for this tutorial.